and all of a sudden I saw up at 1 o'clock an ME-109, and he was facing towards my squadron commander. So I called him and said there was a bandit at 1 o'clock. And then all of a sudden I saw this ME-109 turn towards me, and I could see the 20 millimeter cannon blinking, and the next thing I know, pop, and black oil came all over my windshield, hot black oil. And I quickly threw back the canopy so I could see, and the engine almost quit. It just go chugging along, and my airspeed dropped, and I can't be more than 1,500 feet above ground. And I told my squadron commander I'm hit, and he said take 270 and head home. So I started at 270, and I'm flying along, chugging just above stall speed. And I looked, and on the right side was an ME-109. Where he came from, I don't know, but he was on the right. And then I looked, and on the left was a 109. And then suddenly they slowed down, and they disappeared, and they went behind me, and I guess to crisscross, and I was waiting for the bullets to come, because somebody comes from behind you, they're going to shoot. And they didn't shoot, and they came up beside me, very close flying formation, and I could see a pilot on each side, and they had their canopies closed. And I guess they figured, here's an easy kill. He's damaged, and then they got close, and I don't know what went through their mind. But thank the Lord, what went through their mind was that they could save me, and they did. If it weren't for those two Messerschmitts and the Pratt & Whitney engine, who knows where I would have ended up or what could happen. And I guess when we got to the bomb line, I don't know, but all of a sudden they put their fingers in a circle, and they went like this, and they peeled off, and I kept going. I wished I could meet them in person, and I would give them the biggest hug they ever had, and I would get down on my knees and thank them, because they could have killed me. They could have forced me down. They could have shot me down. They could have gone over above me, and they didn't. And so my plane was chugging along. I was maybe 1,000 feet above the ground. I kept looking for a place that I may have to belly the plane in. And I got on my radio. The radio still worked. And I asked if anybody heard this transmission, could they tell me where I was? And a voice came over and said, "What's your airfield?" And I told him A-92. And he said, "Well, you're not far from it. Take a 70 to 80 degree turn to the right, and very shortly you should spot it." And he was exactly right. In the distance, I could see the airfield. Started to go straight into land, and maybe, I don't know how far, but very close to the end of the runway, the engine quit. So I had to dead stick the plane in, and I was lucky to reach the end of the runway, and the plane coasted. I got out of the plane and I kissed the ground. I shared that plane with an older pilot, George Pullis. He had named his plane Our Mary, and he had a picture of Mary on the cowling. I can remember when they towed the plane in, George was not a very happy camper that his plane got, but he kidded that he had the best plane in the thing, because not every plane could lose 8 cylinders and still fly. So it was his plane, and it was the greatest plane in the, so he got a big kick out of that.